Hello, FlossTube Stitchers. This is Shelly at Just Stitching, sitting in our Lizzy Cate corner, so named because we needed a bigger area for all of her products that we sold that were so popular, including the chart packs, and then her small kits and charts, and then baskets of her boxers and other kits. I remember meeting her years and years ago at a trade show in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I thought, oh yeah, she's going to be popular. Her style was different than anybody else at the time, and she might have been one of the first independents to be doing more whimsical designs. And obviously she's grown since then and has developed, a slightly different style, but still really, really popular. And even though she retired, semi-retired, about 18 months ago, we are still able to order in many of her products, except for maybe some of the older kits and things that had already been retired. But she did a massive printing right before she retired. And so we've pretty much still been able to satisfy people. I thought this corner would have been taken over by another designer by now, but no. I want to show you some of my Lizzy Cate projects that I finished over the years. But first, before I forget, I want to show you the necklace I'm wearing. I'm pretty sure that this is a Kathy Barrick original, and it might even be her stitching. And I loved it because it was blue hearts. And then just randomly a picture of bees and bee skeps on the back. So it was like it was made perfectly for me. I love blue, and I wear blue a lot. And even this morning, while waiting for the shuttle on the way to church, the gentleman behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "So, if I see you tomorrow, will your clothing also be matching your glasses?" And I said, "Probably. Yep, blue's my favorite color." I've read a lot on social media about people rescuing older needlepoint and cross stitch and even other craft things at thrift shops. And I think it's so cute that they call it rescuing. They don't want to see it end up in a landfill because it doesn't sell there. And isn't it sad that somebody gave that away in the first place? Why didn't it, stay in the family or whatever? But I had an idea because this could have come from a project that she didn't feel like finishing, or it could have been a salvaged scrap from a project that had gone awry from miscounting or a mistake in the orientation of the fabric, or just, mistakes that make it too difficult to remove, and then you're kind of wasting a whole piece of fabric. So my idea was, why can't we salvage our own stitching and turn them into other things like pincushions or ornaments or pieces of jewelry like this one? And that way we don't feel guilty about throwing stuff away. It doesn't have to be the entire design. So anyway, I wanted to throw that out there as a tip and also show my pretty necklace. So I'm going to start with, well, actually, most of my pieces are from the Tidings series. And I always thought they were such a good deal because they included 4 or 5 different designs. And she showed them finished different ways, in pillows, framed, as ornaments, as little stand-ups, boxes. And I also tried to finish mine all differently so that my customers wouldn't be locked into what they see on the front cover of the chart. So this is Feliz Navidad. And I love the little sprig of cranberries at the top. Poinsettia perfectly placed on the back. Oh no, I didn't finish any of these. Most of them were done by Rita at Snowberry Needle Arts. There were a few of the ornaments done by Handmade Heirlooms by Nicole, and then the framed pieces were by Valley Framing. So when I'm complimenting these pieces, I'm really complimenting the finisher's choices. And this is Feeling Festive. And I knew that I wanted it to be in an ornament shape, but I didn't necessarily want it finished as an ornament. And I love this fabric. I love that she turned it into a stand-up. And she did the front vertical and the back horizontal, which is actually a great way to use smaller pieces of fabric if you don't have the right size for the orientation that you want. It really doesn't matter, it just makes it more interesting. And then this is Joyeux Noël. And I did it on, I think it was Ren from Picture This Plus. And I love the gold frame that picks up the bow charm and all the little beads. All three of those pieces were from Tiny Tidings 15. And you can see that Feliz Navidad was originally framed, Joyeux Noël was originally an ornament, and Feeling Festive was an ornament. Actually, I should have started with this one. This is Mary. This is an ornament that was from Tiny Tidings 9. And it's not the whole thing. I think it had a border around it, but I was using a very tiny scrap of fabric, and I knew that it would make it difficult for the finisher if I did the whole thing. So instead of making it a square ornament, I left off the border and it could be turned into a round. And I love the holly leaves that she added in the felt. All right, and then let's see. This is Joy. And I love that she did a different shape to the ornament. Honestly, I never would have thought to do that myself. And I love that the bells match the bell that serves as the O in the word. And then this is Celebrate. You know I'm a sucker for reindeer. And so she kind of made it into a sack. I could stuff it with something else if I wanted, or put a gift in it, or candy canes or something. And those were from Tiny Tidings 17. And as you can see, Celebrate was originally a pillow and Joy was originally a small framed piece. I also have that stitched. I stitched it twice because I forgot I stitched it, but I did it on 2 different colors of fabric. So I'm still gonna do both of them and finish them differently. Okay. And then this is a little sled decoration that could go on a large tree, or it could just be propped up on a bookshelf. And I love the polka dot fabric that it's done on. That was from Tiny Tidings 18. And that had been a pillow. Okay. Then, oops, sorry, close up of my teeth. Santa Knows and Celebrate. Isn't that reindeer adorable? And those were from Tiny Tidings 19. And then Dash Away, done on the blue polka dot, is from Tiny Tidings 20. I love that she found the red and white candy cane trim to match the stitching on the ornament. All right, and then the next few pieces are framed. This is Come Let Us Adore Him, which was B54. It was one of her kits that came with the fabric and the buttons. And she always included like a secondary design in the boxers. And so this one was also done as a little stand-up with those same berries at the top. I just love that. I love all the trim, the antique look. I think I provided this fabric. I thought it was perfect. All right, and then the next one is one of her regular kits, not a boxer, But this is Joy to the World, and you can see that was the secondary piece, which I have not stitched yet. And that's how that one was framed. Okay. So for the giveaway this week, I thought I would do a Lizzy Cate kit, of course, and why not keep it to Christmas, since we had asked about your Christmas ornaments last time. This ended up being a Christmas-themed video. And so I have a kit called Last Minute December. And I can't remember if she called it this because she usually came out with a Christmas kit towards the end of the year, but it was quick and could be done by Christmas, or this could have been the year that she actually forgot to design something and her husband reminded her and she's like, holy cow, and she did the whole thing in like 1 week. Since Lizzy Cate is one of my favorite designers and always will be, even though she's retired, I still have tons of her designs to stitch, tons of her ornaments to have finished. I like her as a person. I'll be sorry not to see her at the trade show. She and her husband were always so sweet. Never let the stress or tension of all the busyness of a trade show get to them, at least that they showed. I love that she does things for charity. She's had quite a number of projects over the years where part of the proceeds went to different charitable projects. She does mission trips and other volunteering at her church. I loved reading about her vacations and what her daughters were up to. Anyway, so I'd like you to tell me who your favorite designer is. And if you have a couple, go ahead and mention them. And then I'll put you in the drawing for this kit. Then as far as last week goes, what are we up to? Okay. I really enjoyed reading all of your stories about your Christmas trees. And if you guys want to, go back and read other people's comments. It was great. Lots of you mentioned collecting the annual Hallmark ornaments, buying handmade ornaments at craft shows, or picking up an ornament on vacation to help remind you of that trip. Everything on your trees represents a memory of some sort, and some of the most precious ornaments were handmade by your children. So the giveaway for last week was a copy of the 2019 Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornaments magazine. And the random number generator chose Susan Haywood. And she said her tree includes her dad's childhood ornaments. That must be really special to have something that goes that far back in the family to have on her tree. Kathy Stugmeyer says, no tree here, too many kitties. Christina Clark said that along with her main tree, she has a smaller blue tree decorated with all Indianapolis Colts themed ornaments. Tara has her parents' first box of ornaments from the mid-50s. Mary Good has stitched, crocheted, and needle-pointed ornaments that were handmade by her mother and her grandmother. Linda Hartsfield says that Santa brought her into this world on Christmas Eve, so she celebrates by putting up 22 trees, starting usually on November 1st so that they can enjoy them longer. That is quite a task, Linda. Let's see. Charlotte Miller has 2 daughters who consistently choose a cat or a dog ornament for their family tree. One always picks a cat, the other always picks a dog, so that's their theme. Scott Benson says his most treasured tree decoration is a garland of little wooden toys handmade by his mother. Marlene Haller has 4 grown children, and their tree was so laden with ornaments over time that she eventually made each child a wreath covered in all of their ornaments so that they would each have their own memory and a part of the family tree. Linda Schindhelm's mother was in a nursing home for the last year of her life, and they took in a special tree decorated with Texas-themed ornaments that had been given to her from a son who had settled in that state. And although she was legally blind, she really enjoyed the lights. So they kept the tree up for her after Christmas, and the family and friends ended up turning it into a Valentine's tree, and then one for St. Patrick's Day, Easter, and patriotic. And so that was a really fun activity and a great memory for their family. Susan Morelli has a wall tree in her kitchen filled with her mother's ornaments that date back to the 60s. And they're either labeled with, or there's another kind of record with the name of each person that had gifted that item. That is great record keeping. Anne Marie has 2 trees filled with over 200 cross-stitch ornaments. You are an overachiever. Maybe some of them are gifts from friends, but maybe you did stitch all of them, and that is something to aspire to someday. The backward stitcher has a very small home and has creatively made a wall hanging of cut branches and string in the shape of a tree that she puts lights on and hangs a few ornaments. And it's super rustic and it suits the season and doesn't take up too much space, so that's perfect for her. Linda Donzello has a pre-lit 4-foot tabletop tree decorated with a popcorn garland, dried orange slices, and candy canes. That is awesome. Like, it doesn't have to be super fancy. And then Monica Merkley says, my Christmas tree glitters like the treasure braid rack in the direct sunlight. That is hilarious. She's referring to our Rainbow Gallery racks that have her favorite fiber, petite treasure braid, that she is always drooling over when she's in the store. And she's always coming up with sneaky plans to get that rack out of the shop without me knowing. Yeah, no, your bedroom would be the first place I would check if that rack ever went missing, Monica, okay? Then the last story that I wanted to tell is from Joanna Maltzberger, and I actually, I took a picture of it on my phone, and I forgot to bring that phone over here, so hang on just a second. Here's her little story. I love our Christmas tree, but it's certainly not making any magazine covers. It's a pre-lit white tree, except that part of the lights don't work, but we never seem to remember that until after it's all put together. So then we add multicolored lights as well. Sometimes we turn on just the multicolored and have a semi-normal looking tree. Sometimes we turn on the half-broken white lights and have a partially beautiful tree. And sometimes we turn them all on just to have a totally us unique tree. We're all a little quirky in our house. Then, because we always have littles in the house, we only put ornaments on the top third of the tree. The temptation to pull them off is just too much for the 50 little fingers. But I love the Christmas season, and it's festive, and it's ours. So I love it in all of its quirky, lopsided glory. I really appreciated that story because it just shows that everybody's season has a slightly different meaning for them. The decorating, the family traditions that they've established, the memories that it holds for them. They're all beautiful in their own way. And what I would love everyone to do is to either Facebook message me or email me with a photo of your trees that we've been talking about this time. I think it would be really great to do a photo montage as one of my videos later in the year. I think it's a good idea. So thanks for watching and have a great week, everyone. Bye.